Let's take a look now at all things money matters. The mood on the JSE is firmer so far today, along with its global peers, with investors hoping for a possible diplomatic solution to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Mbuso Zulu is a senior equity analyst at Sentio Capital, and she joins us now for the latest market moves. Thank you very much for availing yourself this afternoon. It would seem the local bourse is on track for a day of gains. Talk us through some of the sentiments driving trade thus far.
Afternoon, Dudu. Yes, it's actually quite a positive day today on the markets. It seems that we are benefiting from the war, so the stocks that benefited from the war, such as our resources stocks, are continuing to show a leg up, as well as the war loser stocks, which in our case were the domestic stocks, being banks and retailers. They're also positive. So it's actually a bit unusual, but it will definitely be taken any day relative to a red market. We're also seeing the rand also strengthen relatively, even though the dollar is also strengthening as well. So it's actually quite a good day across most sectors today. You're seeing your resources do well as your industrial stocks, as well as your financials.
We'll take a good day and run to the hills. Let's take a look at the current account surplus in the country, shrinking to 120 billion rand in the fourth quarter of 2021. What does this tell us about our spending versus how much we're earning?
Well, most importantly, it's a surplus, and over a number of years in the past, we've been running current accounts deficits, and that is as a result of our position as a net importer. So this is as a result of the commodities boom that we've seen. The prices of commodities has increased, and we are a commodity producing country. So we have benefited. Of that, as well as trade flows in aggregate have come through and have been quite positive for the country. And so this holds us in actually quite a good position. It holds us in a good position and will give the financiers a relatively more stable outlook, at least for the interim, until the picture changes, if it does.
Let's take a look at the latest mining production and sales print for January 2022 revealed by Stats SA. How has that sector fared?
Yes, so as I said a little bit earlier, we have benefited from the commodities boom that has taken place over the past 2 years, and you have seen it come off slightly, but if you look at the 18 months where you've had positive year-on-year growth, you've seen just a slight pullback in January, and so that has decreased by 8.2%, and most of the detracting has come from the gold position, as well as PGMs and iron ore, and you've seen coal being a positive contributor.
Rio Tinto has become the first major company to cut ties with Russian businesses, joining a global corporate exodus from that country over the invasion of Ukraine. What should we understand about this development?
Yeah, so you've seen a number of consumer-facing countries exit Russia and impose sanctions in that country. And you've also seen the oil-producing countries as well also move away from Russia. And so Rio Tinto is a commodities play. Russia is quite significant from a palladium perspective, especially, and other minerals as well. And so with Rio Tinto coming out, it does pose the risk that you will have a shortage of minerals. And so you've also seen prices react to that. You've also seen oil prices react to just not having the supply that comes through from Russia. It is quite material, so I think that the fears that you will see just about stagflation down the line, high inflation, low growth, and the uncertainty of how the central banks will respond to this, I think it further entrenches those concerns. You have seen that there have been fears of Europe going into recession as they are relatively more dependent on Russia than the rest of the world, and also the high inflation that will be coming through as a result of oil, the oil shock, and other commodities. So I think this further adds another leg in that picture that you have. But of course, the situation in Ukraine is quite a tenuous one, and we don't know really how long the situation will persist for. But for the commodities markets, it is a boom, I suppose, as you are seeing those prices hold firm.
Thank you so much for availing yourself this afternoon. Mbuso Zulu is a senior equity analyst at Sentio Capital.